Anyway, hey, welcome back to another edition of Lee Street B. This time it's just me and S Hacker. Over because of the pandemic, we had a lot of different changes. So one of the changes is that Sandra Tucker decided to um, leave the show, and that's okay. She has other things going on with her in her life, um, things that she wants to pursue, which is okay with us. No, there's no hard falling out. We wish her the best. She's felt a lot of times that this platform was too restrictive for her. See, there's other platforms out there: Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, and she wants to do documentaries and do films because she's a part-time actor and a comedian. So there's other things she want to broaden her horizons, and we don't have a problem with that. So it's going to be for a while. It's just going to be me and S Hacker. We don't know how long this is going to go on. We might pick up another host. One of the things, because of the pandemic, people get a chance to kind of reevaluate what they want to do in life. And this is one of the things that Sandra wanted to do. So, but that's okay. We don't care. So we just go on with that. So, but Lee Street Beat is still here. It's been a while. So, Hacker, what have you been doing?
I have been educating myself on the latest trends, and I'm going to say hackery.
Oh,
Again, a couple of hacks have made the news. The one with the gas pipeline made the news because it affected people from the southeast to the northeast. And then the other one that made the news was a meat processor who processes a lot of beef for the United States and other countries. They were hacked. And then the first hack, the people paid. The pipeline, they paid close to $5 million. The second one, they paid the hackers $11 million. So for people who say crime doesn't pay, you might want to reevaluate that statement.
so I want to know, did you get any of that Bitcoin money?
Oh no, no. I was not involved. I am better than Pontius Pilate. I don't even have to wash my hands.
Okay, well that's good to know. So one of the things we talked about, and me and you discussed this a little earlier, was Simone Biles. She's doing this phenomenal thing for USA Gymnastics, or the Olympic gymnastic team. And one of the most, I thought, poignant and very heartwarming thing was this young girl on the team, and I can't think of her young girl, but anyway, Simone fixed her hair. She had a little puff in the back. She was looking kind of like Gabby Douglas when she first walked out there. How her hair was looking all wild, and so she fixed her up, made her look nice. Like Simone was like her big sister, and everybody's talking about the humanity that she's helping the younger gymnasts make them look good, and all the aspects of the game, their form, their technique, and their appearance. And I really commend Simone for just taking time out to do that for her. That was a very good thing.
Again, the vibe I've always gotten from her is like, again, I know I have some unique abilities and I work hard to make them look easy. And we're like, wow, they're spectacular, but she makes it look so easy because she works hard at it.
Right.
But even with that, she knows she has a gift and she's honed that gift. She is still a person, right?
Right.
Again, empathy is one thing, but just recognizing that although I have this unique ability, I'm still a human being. And again, I can still reach out and help because again, my path was paved by others who helped me.
Right.
I've always gotten that vibe about her.
And so, you know what? Speaking of athletes, let's talk about the Naomi Osaka case of her pulling out the French Opening because she felt that her mental health was challenged because she had anxiety of giving speeches or meeting the press. Before and after the meets, it kind of took away from her concentration of her game, and it just made her fearful. And I know there was a lot of criticism, and people always think because you're getting paid a lot of money that you
Mhm,
should take the abuse. And
mhm,
I had a friend that played pro football, and he says, when you're on the outside looking in, you think money is everything, but you want to have your humanity and your dignity respected. And that's
mhm,
basically what she wanted. She wanted her dignity respected, and she
mhm,
wanted her space to be respected. You
mhm,
know, when you have, say, players like John McEnroe or Nadal or Federer, if they don't feel like talking, they say they don't talking. They fine, they
mhm,
keep moving on, and they don't question their thing.
mhm,
But it seems like when it's an athlete of color, especially an international athlete like Naomi or say a Lewis
mhm,
Hamilton, why aren't they
mhm,
talking? They're getting so much money. It's like
mhm,
we're paying you to do this and take our
mhm,
abuse. And I don't think anybody, no matter what your job, should take abuse. And
mhm,
that kind of ties into this whole thing of these states want people to come back and work for minimum
mhm.
wage and not
Right.
take the extra
Federal
stimulus.
stimulus. Yeah, the
Right,
federal part of the stimulus.
right.
Right.
I mean, basically, if you stayed in school and you studied and did basic mathematics, you
Mhm,
realize that that minimum wage, whatever it's paying you, is going to be um two. I have to do the thing, but like it's less than $300 a week. So
right.
and you're getting that, and that's not going to be enough to sustain you. So you got twelve hundred
Mhm,
dollars a month where you can get that money plus an extra three. So why not take more? The minimum wage job is going to
mhm.
be there. You're not working a minimum wage job to be your career ending thing. You can't buy a two
Exactly.
hundred thousand dollar house on a minimum wage job. You
You
know,
can't pay rent on a minimum wage
yeah, you
job.
can't pay rent. You can't buy things. So they want to keep you like you're like an
Mhm,
enslaved. You an enslaved slave, except you're getting
right.
compensated for it. It's like kind of
Mhm,
like almost like prison work, but it's at a higher rate.
right. We
So
want to control you.
absolutely.
And although, and again, this is the crazy part, right? They act like the federal money is somehow not the people, right? All of us, even if you're on Section 8, if you pay any sales tax, part of those taxes goes to your city, your county, your state, but part of it is kicked up to the feds. Gasoline tax, right? We all use gasoline, right?
Right.
Some of that money is kicked up to the federal level. So this money, this extra unemployment, right? People have already paid for that, right? It's not like we're spending money from somebody's wallet, right? They're spending the money that these people have paid through fees they've already paid for, right?
Hmm.
Like again, the gasoline tax to me is a fee, right, on every gallon. So it amazes me that people act like this is their money, right? I'm talking to politicians, right? This is not your money. These are the United States citizens' money. They forget that they work for us. The money that they spend, yeah, they kicked in their part as a United States citizen, but so do all these other people. And if your business is built on a unlivable wage, your business from a capitalist perspective should go under.
Oh, that's something to think about. I just say that like where I stay here,
Mhm.
there was a McDonald's and there was a I don't know if you guys have a Wawa gas stations.
We do not.
Okay, well, there's a Wawa gas station across from the McDonald's.
Hmm.
And the young people that were working at the McDonald's,
Hmm.
they both had these signs out. And
Hmm.
and the signs of McDonald's was if you started from them, you could make well, I think it was $11 an hour. And if you were
Hmm.
a shift manager, you could make no, it was $9 an hour, and if you were a shift manager, you would make $11 an hour.
Right.
Um, but the Wawa was a little
Hmm.
different. It was like we're paying you $11 an hour, and if you were a shift manager, we will pay you $15 an hour. But on top of that, just to fill out the application, you was going to get $50 to come in
Hmm.
and fill an application out.
Right.
Then, if we hired you, we was gonna give you $150 bonus for that first
Hmm.
week
Hmm.
on your pay. So
Right.
the folks at the McDonald's left and went to
Right.
Wawa. So now you had the managers that were there that had to be there, I guess, and
Hmm.
they were stuck there. Now I'm just thinking, if I was a McDonald's employee and I went there and I said to my boss, I would like a raise. He
Hmm.
would tell me, no, I can't give you a raise, but yet he's going to hire somebody else to come in who just started for more money.
Right.
He's going to pay him $9 an hour, but he's only going to pay me the 7.25.
Right.
So, and I get how this is going. So why would I stay there for 7.25? I could go right across the street and make $11 and plus $50 for just doing the application if I get the job or not, or and $150 bonus my first week when
Exactly.
I get a check. So
Exactly. I'm at the Wawa.
there you go. Wawa is jam packed. They
Hmm.
got lanes open, and these folks is making money, and they enjoying their job because they're looking for it. The McDonald's, they can't even
Hmm.
open where you can walk in. You got to go to the
Hmm.
drive-in. They closed off one of the drive-in lanes. You know how they got the
Hmm.
two lanes and merged to one. They closed
Right.
up one of the lanes because they only got 3 or 4 people working there. 3 people actually. One person to give the money to, and then
Hmm.
the window, and I guess the fry cook. That's it.
Right.
And they never get the order right. It's just,
Exactly.
you know,
And you're like, hey, forget about it.
yeah,
I'm out of here anyway. I've already been in this line long enough. They're never gonna get it right.
right.
But I
Yeah.
have been to restaurants here before,
Hmm.
fast food restaurants. Right? I went to a Hardee's a long time ago. Right. I walked in, they were like, yeah, we're not taking orders. You know why? Because nobody showed up on a Saturday afternoon.
Hmm.
And again, I imagine it is worse now.
Oh yeah.
Again, I had a friend who said, like, she went to Burger King and they were like, yeah, we're not taking orders because the whole shift did not show up.
Oh yeah.
You
You
know.
know.
But again, I told somebody else earlier, I was like, the pandemic changed a lot of things, but one of the things that really changed was the employer employee relationship. You can no longer talk to your employees like you're crazy because they will get up and go where? To the Wawa.
Yeah.
And even because again, we live in a capitalistic society. Nobody wants to hustle backwards, right? Like you say, I'm making seven something, and you're bringing new people who I have to train who are making more than me. That's hustling backwards. That's not how we were raised as Americans. People just don't get that, right? Employers get it. They're really getting it now.
Mhm.
But all along, you should have treated your employees with dignity and not been so greedy and take all your profits, right?
Right.
You should have invested some profits back into the business by training and retaining your best employees. But no, you took all the profits so you could go, on vacation or, to
And,
keep
and,
up with
and
the
I'm
Joneses.
beginning to wonder if some of these companies that got that PPE money to pay their employees while they
Hmm.
couldn't open, but of course, McDonald's open. So, but I know
Right,
these franchises applied for PPE.
right,
So, and then the family members that was on the payroll, apparently they were going to get that money to be paid, but maybe not the
right.
other people there. So,
Again, it's greed. You have to spread it around. You have to pay your employees a livable wage.
right.
That's the basic education we got as a kid. You want to be educated enough so that you can make enough money to have a life.
Right.
7.25 an hour is not having a life.
Uh-uh, uh-uh.
And again, people don't understand. They're like, yeah, women are the worst who are not being able to go back to work. And one of the reasons, who's gonna keep their kids?
Not they baby daddies. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
And
Cause
not
he out in the
childcare
street making more.
resources. Because childcare centers aren't open because a lot of people can't open with 6 feet of separation. Childcare was not, that industry was not invented for that separation. And I live in the state of Alabama where people are not getting vaccinated. So again, if you don't get vaccinated, it, it keeps going round and round and round. And you can't open childcare up with this stuff going round and round and round.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, who's going to keep their kid? And again, you're making $7.25 an hour. You know how much childcare is? More than $7.25 an hour.
Oh yeah, I believe. Yeah, absolutely.
A lot more.
Yeah.
After school care is more than that, and they
Yeah.
only have it for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
You're talking about an 8 or 9 hour period of time though. You have to pay somebody to keep your kid, and
And you're not making money.
you making just enough money to pay for childcare.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And speaking of vaccinations, um, I have like a lawn service, and they would come and they would spray the shrubberies to make sure they don't
Mhm.
have fungus and make sure we don't have crabgrass. And it was I don't know, it was kind of sad, we called because we wanted them to come and look at some other things. And
Mhm.
when my wife called and found out that this man, Dennis, died because of COVID.
Wow.
They didn't get vaccinated because talking to the wife, they kept saying, well, we kept hearing that, there was a hoax, these Trumpers, it's a
Mhm.
hoax until it hits you. Then you realize it's
Right.
true. And
Mhm.
it's sad. And speaking of Trumpers, my
Mhm.
wife decided to do, I live in a community where it's predominantly wall white. And they're all
Mhm.
Trumpers except for maybe two families. But we
Mhm.
try to stay civil as much as we can because we don't talk about
Mhm.
race, we don't talk about politics, and we don't talk about religion. So we can,
Right.
we can engage in the cooking shows. We can
Mhm.
engage in, the HOA. We can, talk
Right.
about gardening or just regular
Mhm.
debauchery that's going on in the world, you know.
Right.
So she decided that she was going to invite some this person over and say, "Hey, you know what? I got some friends coming by, and I'm having a barbecue. It'd be nice if you come by." That person, I guess we're at that age, and for us, if I invite you, I don't expect you to go tell, say, Sandra. You'll say, "Well, if he wants Sandra, he'll tell Sandra on his own."
Right.
But you're gonna
Again,
say,
it's not
"Hey,
my job to put out the invitation.
right, right. Hey, T the Man is having a barbecue, Sandra. I'm just letting
Yeah.
you know, putting the word out." And that's basically what they did. So now we have
Mhm.
all these people coming to the house
Who
saying
have been
that,
waiting to get in
"Oh,
that house
yeah, I can't
forever.
wait to get into the
Mhm.
house to have this barbecue." And then it became awkward because you couldn't say, "No, this person's invited and that person is not."
Right.
So then you have to take the diplomatic role and say, "Oh yeah, we're having,
Mhm.
we're trying to do this like a potluck. Can you bring something?" And they
Yeah.
did.
Mhm.
So, but while I was here, they were asking me about my past career. And then they
Mhm.
said to me, this one group, I'm not going to say who they are. They said, "Have you ever met anybody famous?" I said, "Yeah, I met
Mhm.
somebody famous." And I started, I said, "Oh, I met Aunt Margaret, I met
Mhm.
Spike Lee, I met James Garner, I met politicians, I seen Bill Clinton, and of course, like Barack Obama was our home state senator, and they went
Mhm.
boo, boo, boo." And I looked at them, and normally I would address that in a whole lot different manner. I actually
Mhm.
looked at them and said to myself in my mind, they booing me in my own house after they asked me about somebody because they're Trumpers. But
Right.
I took the high road and I basically said, I met, George H.W. Bush. I didn't agree with his politics, but the man
Mhm.
had class and he had dignity. And I said it
Mhm.
right to them so they knew exactly what I mean. And they didn't say nothing.
Right.
So, but that was kind of like an out of body experience. But
Mhm.
then another woman, she came there, she left her purse. And she came back and she says, "Oh, I think I left my purse at your house." And she did. So she goes there and she opens up her purse. She says she left with her phone, but you can feel if your purse is in the phone because it's a little small purse, right? She opens it
Right. She's
up, she
making
opens
sure
it
all
up
her
wide.
stuff is
She was making
there.
sure everything was there. And then they had
Right.
some sangria that my wife had made. She sat there at my counter and she drank that sangria. And when she left, she staggered out through my front door to walk
Yeah,
home.
she got
She had a
real
good
tipsy.
time, and we was because we were watching her and we were saying, now
Mhm.
why is she checking her purse, and who was
We
going to
know why
steal
she
from her?
checking
Was
her
it going to be
first.
us? We didn't
And
care.
again, hey, check it. Was it a trap to begin with? Her
Might have
leaving her
been.
purse.
I don't know. I,
You know?
I don't listen. They would have never been here if it been up to me.
I know that's right. And again, you were talking about they bullying you in your own home. And we were talking about the tennis player, right? And her mental issues, right?
Hmm.
She won a tournament. She beat someone and it was major, right? The entire crowd booed her. Imagine you've reached the pinnacle of your career and you're happy and everyone around you is booing you. That can play on your psyche,
Oh yeah,
right?
I agree.
And again, we fail to realize that she's a young woman, right?
Very young.
Peace of mind is priceless. And if you can find it, cherish it,
Oh yeah.
right? It's hard to go out in an environment and achieve, knowing that your achievement can cause your peace of mind to become very fragile.
Right.
That's like a push and pull of your insides to a certain degree, right? And I can't imagine what that's like. I've never been in that situation where
Yeah.
when I achieved something major that everyone around me believed. That
Yeah.
is
Well, I'm gonna just tell you, it's kind of a surreal thing when you first hear it, and then my mind says, are they saying boo for like Barack Obama or
no,
but
they're saying boo because you didn't say Trump.
right. Oh, they didn't want me to say
Right.
Trump. It been
No.
on and popping. I can tell you right now. I
Hmm.
would have catch me a major a major case down here. I'll be looking for a good
Well,
defensive lawyer.
hey, stay peaceful, Tita man. Stay peaceful.
I did. I said I took
Um,
I took the higher ground. You know.
right.
So speaking of the infamous president, former
Mhm.
president, his Justice Department spying on folks.
Again, I have always said this. You could be a clown by yourself, right? But when people follow you, you are a, you are a major clown who has clout. Trump doesn't know how to get phone records of anybody. Those people who followed his orders knew that they were wrong, and
Oh
they
yeah.
did it anyway because again, they believe that by any means necessary, I want what I want when I want it, and this is what I want, and that's what he wanted, and they found a way to give it to him. And the ridiculous thing about it, he wasn't even the leaker. The people he thought were the leakers were not the leakers,
Oh yeah.
right? And again, Dumasis, politicians, elected officials, you work for us. The money you're spending is the money that pays your salary, our taxpayer dollars, right? So since I'm a taxpayer, you work for me. I wish they would get that because I got it a long time ago. I had this police officer from Hoover, right? And I don't know what the police had been called. Someone was moving out of an apartment, right? That was in my name, right? And I was just there to make sure that they got their things. No words were being said, nothing. And for some reason, he was like, "Yeah, why don't you take this and just?" We were on the second floor. Why don't you just take this and drop it down from the second floor to the first floor? I'm like, why would I do that? I was like, first of all, that's not my property. Well, you trying to set me up? I was like, you know who pays your salary? Taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. Why would you suggest me doing something that ignorant? He had no words because it was a setup.
Oh yeah.
I expected you to be wild and out of control and fussing and cussing. Why would I? Let's do business. And when business is done, we all leave. I am not here for your entertainment.
Yep.
And when you act in a way that they don't expect, because again, they all think that we're animals, we're out here. And it's so weird, right? Media will have you believe that minorities are the violent ones, right? Who attacked the Capitol?
They did. I'm gonna tell you right now, they did.
Thank you. How many minorities were involved in the attacking of the Capitol? But they back the blue. No, you don't. You want what you want when you want it. And anybody who tells me I can't have what I want, or you're either a rhino or you're a never Trumper or you're this or you're that, you're a socialist, you're all these things. No, I'm just not simply giving you what you want. Right. And again, when you don't go with the play, you're the enemy. Again, I'm a Black lesbian in Birmingham, Alabama. I have been the enemy almost all my life. It's nothing new. And we're walking, right?
Right.
You can't get me with that label and make me react in the way that you want to. And that makes people crazy because they can't manipulate you the way that they want to, right? They try to manipulate you in your own home, right? Getting you to act in a way, and a woman with the purse, really? How you leave your purse? I've never understood that. You came with a purse, right?
And you know the irony of was?
It's like leaving a slate somewhere in the cold outside. You had nobody
knew it was there. Yeah. Like, you left your purse?
Right.
Where? There? Really?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Where she left it. Yeah. And again, the fact that she openly looked through her things to make sure all of it was there. Yeah. Right. And she told me, yeah, I had to make sure. Oh my girl, get out of here. Girl, bye.
Yeah. And then sat down
your way back to your home.
And drank and staggered out.
Yeah.
Talking about I had a good time. I know you did. You know?
I know you did. But again, you probably won't even remember the good time.
Yeah, one and done. This is the last time.
Yeah, first and last. Like, yeah, you've gotten inside. You'll never get back inside.
Right,
Yeah.
Hey, I kind of feel that they stormed the Capitol on me.
Hey, at least they walked through the door, man. They could have kicked it down.
Yeah.
Then marching around like, hang Ting the man. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Again, it is it's amazing the BS that they expect the American public to believe.
Oh yeah. Well, I found out living here in Florida, and I was telling somebody here, is that in Florida, it's not that they can't connect the dots. Is one problem, but the other problem is if you throw a dash between the dots, they completely lost.
Oh yeah,
they don't know where to go.
Because again, we didn't grow up with dash.
Yeah, they completely.
We grew up with dots.
Yeah,
that's all I understand. You're trying to take our history away, our birthright.
Our birthright.
All that craziness. Yeah, because you can't adopt.
Yeah.
Adapt. All of it. You can't adjust to what's new. Yeah. And you get left behind. You simply get left behind. Yeah. Because that's life.
Right.
We could throw some dashes and some other stuff in there. If you're lost in a dash, hey, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the NBA. Before I talk about the NBA, I want to talk about Matt Gaetz, who's under federal indictment for sex trafficking. I just say this. If you're going to indict that man, indict that man.
Yeah.
Because this political posturing, try to build a case, his ex-girlfriend and all like that, if the girl is not talking, her parents aren't talking, nobody cares. That's the bottom line. And an example here was that this man was having a relationship. He was 32 years old. He was having a relationship with this 17-year-old girl. Him and his father were so-called buddies, and they would get high, do crystal meth and heroin together. and they had some kind of falling out about something. So he goes over goes over to the father's house with a shotgun and shoots him in the chest with with buckshot and kills him. And of course, they arrest the man for the first charges was he was having sex with this underage girl. The second charge was the murder charge. And I was thinking, well, if you knew and the parents knew and actually condoned the relationship between this older man and their younger daughter. So everybody knew what was going on, but they didn't have a problem with it. I mean, they were Hispanic, but that should make a difference. But there's something inherently wrong when you got your father pimping out your daughter.
Right.
And so, but they, of course, they're throwing the book at him. But if Matt Gaetz is having relationship with your 17-year-old daughter, they don't have a problem with it because she's bringing them money.
Right.
So, and they're never gonna, I don't believe at this point, is gonna go and turn on them and stuff like that, because they don't care what the truth is. They say if you prove it, you don't have evidence, and if you have proof, you don't have evidence, and if you have evidence, you don't have proof. You got to have both evidence and proof. And they said, well, his ex-girlfriend, she's going to testify against him. What can he say? His ex-girlfriend was over 18. He had sex with his 17-year-old girl. Were you in the room? No. Well, then how you know? The girl's not testifying. She's going to tell the lie. Yeah, we never had sex. He was a good friend. He was a mentor. He helped me out because whatever. We know it's true because Joel Greenberg gave her the money and the cash up and pay her. But he's a convicted criminal just like Matt Gaetz, except that he's got caught and Matt ain't. And got powerful friends in the state. And one of the defenses he's going to put up, if I'd done this, the state would come and prosecute me. And they haven't. Well, they're never going to do it as long as, what's his name? DeSantis, whatever it is.
Right.
That's not going to happen. If you had a Democratic governor, I guarantee you his ass will be in jail.
Well, he'd be in prison by now. He wouldn't have been elected.
But he's been,
because again, I don't think this kind of behavior starts like on a Tuesday, right? No. This is something that you're used to.
He's been doing it all his life. He's been doing it all his life.
Exactly. So the interesting part of that case to me is that Greenberg, one of the charges that he admitted to was one of the worst charges that they had on him. Right. But he is an unreliable witness. So they need extra stuff. But I'm with you. If you're going to indict the man, indict him. Don't have him out here just, hanging by a thread and you just doing this and doing that, right? He's not going to plead guilty.
No.
Again, if you're waiting on that ship, again, hope is not a strategy. Because
he's touring the country with Marjorie Taylor Greene, so he's getting his kicks off with her. Tell him what kind of freak stuff going on with her. And then and he'll use that. Hey, I was having a relationship with her. She's grown. Why would I go after a young girl?
Again, and it's like the R. Kelly thing. When I thought that he had an issue with girls, right? Don Lemon asked him a question on the interview. It's like, yeah, I heard you like young girls, right? R. Kelly's reaction to that question was, how young is young?
Right.
All right, dude. We're walking. Because you lost it. All you had to do was say, yeah, I like women who are at least 21 or at least 18. So that's the magic number, at least 18. That's the magic number. He came up with how young is young.
Well, in defense of R. Kelly, and I thought I'd never say this,
Uh-oh.
Even if the girl gave him ID, he can't read. So what good it was going to do?
I don't.
He doesn't know the word from 18, from 17.
If she can't be out past 10 o'clock on these cities that have curfew, then she's too young for you.
Well,
you don't have to read that.
Not only R. Kelly, but we had a congressman there named Mel Reynolds. And Mel talking about he didn't know she was underage. But Mel, when you're picking her up in front of a high school and she's carrying books, you can pretty much assume she's underage. And
And
if
she
she
is
isn't underage, you shouldn't be messing with her because she's been held back too many times.
exactly.
You know,
But again, common sense isn't that common.
not at all.
It really is. Because if it were, we wouldn't be talking about some of the subjects that we've talked about. Right.
Mhm.
Again, all you have to wait till is 18. Let them graduate from high school. Show me your diploma. That's it. Forget your driver's license.
I
Show me
would
your
say,
diploma.
I would say in his case, when they know she's having her 18th birthday, because some of them don't turn 18 till October.
You can wait. How long has he been in prison? I mean, it's
and hope she don't graduate early.
Exactly. Hey, check it. And a GED doesn't count.
Yep.
Because you could get those early, right? I want 4 years.
All
And
right.
again, let me see your 18th birthday picture.
Okay, before we wrap this up,
Mhm.
let's talk about the NBA, the Bucks and the Nets.
Mhm.
And is the Suns playing Dallas? I think the Suns are playing Dallas.
Again, the Suns are waiting for whoever wins the Clippers.
That's right. I forgot about the
The
Clippers.
Clippers and whomever. I forgot who the Clippers are playing.
Well,
But they're waiting on that opponent.
It's not the Hawks, is it?
No, they're in the East.
Oh, okay.
I forgot who else is in the West. It's the Clippers and Utah.
Utah. Oh, Utah's still in there? Ooh, I ain't heard that name. Okay.
Yeah, it's 2-2.
Okay, 2-2.
So again, the Suns have at least a week off.
Oh,
because that's
they'll
the waiting.
They'll be rusty.
No, they'll be good and rested. Chris Paul is 36. He needs that rest. Because he had an amazing game. He had a great game last night. He laid it out. He put it all out there.
But can he do it? Hey, if this is just one round, he got another round to go. Is he going to have anything left in the tank?
That's why they need this week of rest. Exactly.
So,
you may call it rust, they go call it rest.
So Kyrie Irving sprained his ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant supposedly carried the team, but he has Harding. James got his money. I want James to go ahead and show what he can do.
But he's hurt. Harden was one of the first who were hurt. He did not play. He hadn't played in the series. He was injured. Then it was just Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Now Kyrie's gone down. It's just Durant.
Well, Kevin ain't never been 100%. So
yeah, not since he left Golden State. That whole issue with this health.
Who's
when he had the
where's Blake
injury?
Griffin with? Who's he with?
He is with the Clippers, I believe.
Oh no! I thought he left the Clippers. Is he with the Clippers or?
He's with the team that's still playing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know if it was Brooklyn or if it was.
Again, he may be with Brooklyn. I'm not sure. But I don't think it's the 76ers. I think it might be Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure, but again, he's he's doing well. Because I hadn't heard that name in a minute.
Oh yeah. Well, the Bucks, they ain't gonna just roll over and die for him. They're gonna have to go ahead and push them.
Yeah, and again, it will be the Bucks to me are just a young team. You've got to. Maturity is an amazing thing, right? Especially in the playoff. You've got to act like you've been there, and you haven't. And the pressure is, I can't even imagine the pressure that some of these young players, like, yeah, we gave you all this money. It's time for you to step up, right? And they want to step up, but I've always felt this, that especially in professional sports, right? Everybody on these teams have talent, right? They have the physical talent. It's the mental part that separates them, right? You've got to be mentally tough to get through that. Because even during my day, I have some negative thoughts running through my mind. I can't imagine with the pressure of a whole city in your mental. But some people can deal with it. Like again, like last night, Chris Paul had an amazing game.
Mm-hmm. He got the benefit of the experience of not sitting in them playoffs. So
exactly, maturity. He could relax, and just perform.
Mm-hmm.
right? Because he's, you know, it's an amazing thing. But again, the mental separates the moms because
Yeah.
again, nobody pays you millions of dollars and you suck physically, you know, in whatever sport you are. Now, you're worth the millions. It's the mental that'll get you from the millions to the tens of millions. Right? You've got to believe in
Oh
real,
well.
like Michael Jordan believed, you know, because again, you look at Mike, he had to believe in other players. Right? He got to the maturity where he figured out, yeah, I may score 55, but we're still gonna lose, right?
Yeah. I
He
need
got to
Scotty.
I need
I need
Scotty
I
and
need
Paxton
Paxson and
and
Hodges
and
and all the other
all
guys to feed me the ball or whatever it is to
or
play
again to hit
defense.
those set shots, those 3 pointers, right?
Brian Hopper, I need you, you know.
I need again, it takes a team to beat another team.
Right.
A a team can defeat an individual on a team,
Hmm.
but it takes a team to defeat a team.
Yeah.
And you've got to believe in your players, you know.
Oh, well, had an interesting conversation today.
I know, nice and laid back, and we talked about a variety of subjects, as I would say, a cornucopia of subjects. And again, people can pick and choose and enjoy them
Okay.
all.
Well, that's it from us. T the
Ex-
Man and S Hacker. Till next time, it's gonna be a little bit infrequent. Everybody
mhm.
got a life going on, so we do it when we can. Which I have some guests lined up, so now that things are opening up and going back to work, and so
Mhm.
now it's a thing we're coordinating to see if we can do it
Mhm.
if we can. So
Okay.
until next time, this for Lee Street Beat. This is T the Man and S Hacker, and we'll see you later. And take care. Bye bye.
Peace.
Peace.